Today's topic is using your creative imagination to grow spiritually. First of all, what does growing spiritually even mean to you? To me, it means growing in the capacity to love yourself and all of life. Hi, I'm Marian Massey. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and success coach. And in my book, Miracles, Karma, and Reincarnation, a handbook to purposeful living, I talk about that this is a spiritual road that we're on, a spiritual school. And when people think spiritual, they just think of church a lot of times, you might, or something outside of yourself. But your true nature is soul. And so to allow yourself to live from that premise, many times bad habits, karma, and preconceived ideas about ourselves or others get in the way. So, a tool to break through that, to become more loving, more spiritual, would be to use your creative imagination. This is my process. You can use a different process, but this is my process. So, it might give you a little idea of what to do for yourself. I try every day to get into contemplation, or maybe people would know it better as meditation, to rise above the mind. Because soul uses this body, the emotions and mind, to live on this existence. So to get above the mind, I work with a spiritual word that spiritualizes my consciousness, which is the word HU, H-U, pronounced HU. And you can use it silently or out loud. And after you've used it for a few moments, you've actually raised your awareness, your consciousness above the mind and connecting a little bit more. Then using your creative imagination is going to become more effective. Now, most people know about using your creative imagination to get things. You can, and that's nothing wrong with that, but it's only going to be so limiting for yourself. So why don't you try one time? Let's say that you have a habit of maybe anger or irritability or envy or not loving yourself. This would be a way to use your creative imagination to grow spiritually, because eliminating those things actually brings you more divine love. So let's look at something that you can do. Let's say that a lot of people that I work with have anger, and there's a lot of anger in life. I always say, unless you have lobotomy, you're going to have anger, but it's how you deal with it. So we're trying to deal with this very spiritually. So again, maybe you've used a spiritual word, maybe it's divine love, maybe it's a prayer that you have. So you're in a better place, you're in a higher energy. Now use your creative imagination. Imagine, this is just one way you can do it. Imagine a building, and maybe it's labeled anger. And you go in there with your spiritual helpers, maybe your guardian angel, maybe Jesus, maybe Buddha, maybe somebody else, like in Eckankar, it would be the Mahanta. And you go in and you start moving some of this ick out. When I'm trying to move something out in that way, like anger or not feeling good enough about myself, I visualize it as something dark and dank, and I'm moving it out and giving it to spirit and putting it into the spiritual stream of life. And I do it for a moment, 2 moments, until I can feel some kind of little shift. Maybe like, I can breathe a little bit better. Because don't expect to get rid of this whole goop of karmic energy, because it is all karma, karmic energy all at once. Take it one little bite at a time, and it makes massive changes in your outer life. So once you've taken something out, put something back in. And what I do is I imagine divine love coming back into me. Maybe it's a white light, maybe it's a blue light, but work with allowing yourself to receive it from your heart. And just breathe it in for a moment, 2 moments. Then see yourself in your daily life. Again, if you're working with anger, less irritable, less reactive, feeling better about yourself, feeling better about other people. As you keep doing this, you are becoming more and more of a loving being. You're getting rid of old stuff that you have accumulated through different lifetimes, and you're living more consciously and more with divine love. So, I hope this has been helpful. I have more helpful tools again in my book. You can get on Amazon through audio or, Kindle or even paperback. And if you like my YouTube channel, please subscribe, tell others about it. And until next time, use your creative imagination, not just to get stuff, but to rise to a place of more love. Thanks.